Anoche fue muy aburrido.
That's terrible.
Yes, I am bilingual, but you see me showing off?
Cada votante necesitamos la representación y cada voz necesitamos escuchar.
La situación ahora es inaceptable. Este presidente ha atacado, ha demonizado los inmigrantes. Es inaceptable y voy a cambiar este.
Me llamo Julián Castro y estoy postulando por presidente de los Estados Unidos.
Now, it's not English, but it's easy to figure out. It's called pandering, and it was muy loco. Now, try to follow this, and it's in English.
I don't believe only in reproductive freedom. I believe in reproductive justice. And, you know, what that means is that just because a woman, or let's also not forget, someone in the trans community, a trans female, is poor, doesn't mean they shouldn't have the right to exercise that right to choose. And so I absolutely would cover the right to have an abortion.
Oy vey, which is Yiddish for you lost me. But the debate wasn't about facts. It was about who could out-left each other, which left most Americans out of the conversation.
Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan? Just a show of hands, start off with.
Yes, we're supposed to be for a 70% tax rate on the wealthy. Yes, we're supposed to be for free college.
We must begin impeachment now. I think we have a serious problem in our country with corporate consolidation. One of the most aggressive bills in the Senate to deal with corporate consolidation is mine about corporate consolidation in the ag sector, to check the corporate consolidation and let the free market work.
There's way too much consolidation now in giant industries in this country.
The immigrants didn't do that to you. The big corporations did that to you. The 1% did that to you.
Sounded like a campus sit-in, all that was missing, the body odor. The problem wasn't just the candidates, though, but the moderators, who were no different than the candidates, eliminating any moderation. It was MSNBC interviewing future hosts of MSNBC.
Democrats have been talking about the pay gap for decades. What would you do to ensure that women are paid fairly in this country?
Would you support a 70% individual marginal tax rate? Yes, no, or pass?
How would you address income inequality?
Parts of Miami Beach and the Keys could be underwater in our lifetimes. Does your plan save Miami?
Oh, my God.
Not too challenging. Instead, they were like parents quizzing their own brats at the school spelling bee. Okay, Billy, the next word is Billy. Can you spell your own name, Billy? Very good, Billy. They just asked the candidates about their ends, never the means, giving them a free ride on all the free stuff. So they all echoed every left-wing wish in unison: no abortion restrictions, no border enforcement, skyrocketing taxes, punishing evil corporations, blah, 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 but sometimes in Spanish. The result, as Trump said, boring, aburrido, because the left-wing litmus test creates clones. Nothing new, nothing refreshing, nothing human, and nothing fun, let alone interesting. There was no wit, irony, or real moments, just posturing. Nothing authentic, which is what you need to beat Trump. So this event was as serious as a funeral, maybe because it was. At least the moderates in that party, for now, are dead. All right, so let's just go around the horn here. Your thoughts on the debate, winners, losers?
Well, I think Elizabeth Warren ultimately is a huge loser, doing her best
really?
Tracy flick. Putting her hand in the air for taking health insurance or private insurance away from 180 million people. Look around the stage, Wazzy. Who else has their hand in the air? Bill de Blasio. When you're in company with that idiot lurch, is that what you call it?
I might have called him a lurch.
Yeah, maybe not an idiot. You're in trouble.
But I
and
would link those together.
She's going to be held to that. She's co-sponsor of Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All bill. Not only gets rid of private insurance, also gets rid of Medicare as we know it. And again, how do you win anybody over the age of 50 with them?
Juan, what were your thoughts? This is your team. Who surprised you? Who didn't?
Well, I said I thought Castro would do well, and I think he was the breakout star of the night.
Yeah, he did a lot of hard work on Beto.
Yeah, I think he really, exposed Beto in terms of lack of knowledge on a key issue for Democrats, which is immigration.
Yeah.
And he took a strong stand and said he's peed off about it, So I think that really is something that people are going to remember from last night. I think Warren was a total winner, though, if you'd ask me who stood apart. She's definitely dominated the early part of the debate. Some people even think the moderators went to her too often, although they say she didn't interrupt and jump in the second half. But I think clearly, given that she went in as the leader in the polls, the only person in double-digit polling, I think she came out of it better than she went in. I think one thing I was thinking about as I was listening to you, Greg, was the audience that counts here is Democratic primary voters, not Republicans.
Of course.
And so it seems to me it's not the audience that says if Trump shot somebody on Fifth Avenue, I don't care. These are people who have strong feelings about policy and ideas. And I think that the reason O'Rourke, Booker, Castro spoke in Spanish, by the way, is because, guess what? One, it was in Miami, but two, Telemundo, Univision, all these places will play clips from the debate. And if you have it in Spanish, they can control that message and be very clear about what they want to convey to a growing sector of the Democratic voting
They should have
audience.
spoken Russian since they're controlling the election, Jesse.
That's true. I actually have to agree with Juan. I think Castro was the biggest breakout star. He was polished. He was prepared. He looked presidential. I could see him on the ticket. De Blasio actually surprised me. He looked like he had a little fight there, maybe because he's 6'9", and he definitely filled up a lot of room on the stage.
But if you put Julio and de Blasio together...
that was a little awkward. Booker got the most talk time. I think MSNBC wanted to give him a boost. He's just a little too earnest. And I'm tired of hearing about Newark. And I can't stop looking at his bottom teeth and his bulging eyeballs. Other than that, he did fine. Beto. Where's this great Beto personality everyone's talking about?
I think my prediction's not going to come true.
Beto did not show up last night. He had dead eyes. He looked tired. He looked pale. He needs some sun. I think he said the greatest geopolitical threat was global warming. Complete joke. Warren... I guess if I didn't know that she was leading in the polls with this group, I wouldn't even know that she won the debate. She didn't have any memorable lines. I wasn't that impressed by her. And what you said is death. If you want to take away 180 million people's private health care in a general election, complete toast. The most exciting part was the technical glitch. That's how boring it was. The audience was yawning the whole time. The audience wasn't rocking. No one showed their personality. No one was that competitive. I mean, some people picked a fight, but they didn't finish it. No one really showed any sort of knockout power or killer instinct out there.
But, you know, I know you're a ratings guy, so I was curious, you know, were people watching? Because Greg and Trump said boring, right? Well, it wasn't about Trump, so for Mr. Narcissist, of course, it was boring. But guess what? Like 15+ million people watched this debate.
Well,
and that was the first night.
Republican primary on Fox News, it was 24 million.
Yeah, that was
so
Fox.
So it didn't really stack up.
No. We're comparing it to what the Democrats did last time. This is about the same, and it seems to me...
apples and oranges.
Okay.
Biggest winner?
Yes.
Mitch McConnell.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. So Trump's name is mentioned, but not a lot.
Nope.
Biden's name never came up.
Right.
All of them were asked a question, how are you going to deal with Mitch McConnell? And none of them said, well, when I'm at the top of the ticket, I'm going to make sure that the Democrats win back the Senate.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to deal with Mitch McConnell. We're going to beat him in his race in Kentucky. And instead, they basically were like, well, we have to work on the filibuster and a couple of other things. And like maybe basically, I think that they were just ceding the ground to the Republicans on the Senate side, and Mitch McConnell, I think, is the biggest winner.
Okay, follow-up question, if I may.
Please.
Who did you think was the most authentic person?
You know, I have to say that Jay Inslee, the governor of Washington, to me had a better debate than people would have thought.
I agree.
And, thank you. He is authentic. One thing that's interesting is climate change. We talk that we're going to do this and wind farms. But he is a governor of a state. It's hard to win statewide. You know, emissions in Washington State, though, have not gone down. And I think that he's going to have some proof points to work on.
You know, I'm surprised because I think that you're right, and I also think Amy Klobuchar. If you're thinking about a moderate, if Biden slips, someone who could occupy that space.
Castro definitely took Beto out of that lane.
Correct.
That particular lane. It was like, you're done.
You know what else took Beto out of the lane? Being on the cover of Vanity Fair when nobody knew you. That just got everybody so mad. Like, all of his peers are like, who the hell is this guy?
That you were born to do this?
I think Julian probably just said, I'll take care of this.
You know who's mad now? Anybody who gave Beto money.
Sitting
there watching. He had that look on his face like he was worried about that bad drugstore sushi he ate for lunch.
I think that, my prediction yesterday was that he would raise $1 million after this debate. And again, this debate was not for Republicans or conservatives. It was for them. He could actually still have some support out there.
Yeah.